All right, so we just got out of the film Lights Out. All right, we have IMDb up. So it stars, I'm not even going to lie, Bay, Teresa Palmer, Alexander D. Perez as Brett, the boyfriend, Gabriel Batterman as the son. He plays Martin. Maria Bello, who you were mentioning from that show on NBC,
Yeah.
who plays Sophie, the mom. And then Alicia Vel Bailey as Diane, who's the antagonist. The rest are just minor. And Billy Burke as the father. So the movie itself is there's this creature that comes out only in the dark, has been possessing this one family after the father passed away or was murdered. And nobody knows who it is. It was an unexpected. They're not sure if it's suicide or anything like that. And the son, Martin, is like, spazzing out because he's afraid of the dark. He's afraid to go to sleep. Thus comes in Teresa Palmer's character, who tries to find out the truth behind everything and stop the threat, which is Diane. Now, overall, this movie ultimately, it gave me a really great vibe because it harkened back to Nightmare on Elm Street. And from that alone, and then I love how they play out throughout the movie. It's short, but they play out the mystery of who Diane is, her backstory, everything of that sort. And overall, yeah, very Force Awakens vibe, you can say, but where but there's still a lot of depth here, and every character in this movie is likable.
Yeah, I like the boyfriend. I was like, he's not that asshole, typical boyfriend that you get, he's going to leave them or something else like that. Okay, I thought for a minute there he was going to be the one to be like, he's going to bounce after he got attacked. But it's like, no, he came back.
Oh, I was laughing. I was like, yo, he dipped. He was like, oh.
At that point in time, I'm like this.
For Teresa Palmer, I'll fight some whatever.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I'm like, hey, I'm going to fight for my girlfriend, but your mom got to go. I'm sorry. I'm getting the kid. I'm getting you. I don't know. If I was Teresa Palmer, I wouldn't have went back. I wouldn't have went back for mom at that point in time because the ghost is your friend. It's your friend. But
it's still going to harass them.
Yeah, so
That's the thing. There's a threat.
Yeah, so it's like either take your pills or the other thing.
But that's the thing, and that's what I'm saying. There's with her, even when she tried to take her pills and become normal, and when she thought that she had a little depth, because long story short, Teresa Palmer and all right, let me just call her by her name. It was Rebecca and the little boy's name, who again.
The kid was a good actor.
The kid was really good. I'm like, it's so rare.
I'm like, I wonder how, because I think it's maybe 50 miles. He ran all the way to his sister's house.
Yo, he said he's determined.
I don't care. I'm not dying at night.
But they're not. I mean, they're only related by their mom. They're half brother and sister, and long story short is that she was in a marriage or relation. I think it was a marriage.
Even the first.
But
marriage.
The father, quote unquote, walked away or ran away and ran out, and that was the impression. Mm-hmm. And then suddenly, the same thing happens to the stepdad. Mm-hmm. And a bit of a coincidence in the beginning of the movie, the stepdad dies in it. You find out later on in the movie that it wasn't a walkout. Diane killed him.
And she did the same thing to her other husband after that. So I'm like, so she just she wanted to keep her friend intact with her so she can be, it's the same type of thing like a Freddy, as long as they remember me or that one person remembers me, I'm going to be there. And I like that dynamic. So she goes, Diana goes. But it's
Don't spoil it yet, not yet. We'll get into it. Yeah. And that's the thing, I was gonna say, she that's I love the beauty of it. She thought she can get some sanity with the relationship, but because she has baggage in the form of Diane, can't get it.
Nope.
And it was so at first, obviously the mom is the sore thumb where it's oh come on, she's really the weakest one, but in the end, she's likable. Mm-hmm. There's not one character in this movie that except for the cops, where I was just man, I really hope so-and-so doesn't die. The death count isn't super high, and it doesn't need to be. It's just a nice, and jump scares, it wasn't too jumpy. It was perfect.
Yeah, I did like how Diana had that little crawl that she had, with her arms and everything, with the creepiness of
kind of like
nails
the Ring Girl.
Yeah, and you got nails on the chalkboard, and she's walking and the creaking and everything. It gives you that ominous of like it's really like she's there, she's creepy, and anytime she like flash or something like that, she's there, she's not there, she's there, she's not there. Then once you finally see her in person, you actually see her face like towards the end of the movie. You're just like, wow.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like, I really like her backstory also.
Yeah.
And getting into that is that like she has like this albino skin condition. That's what I like to call it, because she can't be like, she doesn't like the darkness, and she does pass like she's murdered in the course of this experiment.
Yeah.
And I really see a lot of and now we can get into spoilers. So spoiler alert. I really see a lot of depth when it comes to her backstory and how the father and the current dad, the stepdad, were doing experiments on, you know, what this Diane creature is, everything of that sort throughout her life. And I see a lot of potential. I was sitting in the theater like thinking, and you mentioned it too, Rashawn, like this could be a sequel. This could be
Prequel
a prequel.
and everything else like that. I'm like, it could be a whole entire thing about Diane and like how she got to the point where she did. Where was it just maybe she was just following her, or were there other people too? Since like you had the doctors that were experimenting on her when she was at the mental institution. Like maybe she got revenge on them too in the course of before she went back to her friend. Because she's like, okay, they experiment on her, she dies, she turns to ash, but you see that she's still around. And if it's like, well, you have all these people that were there back then, it's like, did she go to their families? Did she kill them too? Or did she just kill her friends' husbands because they were trying to fix her?
Yeah, and then it also questions like when she was in the home, the mental institution. Like, when she whispered that thing to her, was it just like her initial way of cheating eternity? Like, it's just, there's so much depth in here for a prequel. And I was sitting in here in the movie, I was like, man, this could really be like the next horror series. Like, if it's a standalone, that's fine too. But the one thing where I said they should not do a sequel is when you get to the end. And again, it harkens back to why I say that there's a likable character, because the mom sacrifices herself by killing herself.
Yeah, self-sacrifice. It's like the best way. It's like I'm like she's at the end. She's a mother. She's gonna sacrifice herself for her children, no matter what.
And I was like, oh my gosh, and it's a dark ending, but again, it ultimately, I don't want there to be a sequel, because, and I really hope Hollywood listens, don't do a sequel, prequels, whatever. Like little things like that like lead up to it, but I think this should be either a standalone or do prequels. Don't move forward with this, because it makes the mom's sacrifice in vain. Like, it would be like it's for nothing.
They need to do it in Insidious 3, like how they did that. Because Insidious 3 is a prequel to the first two movies, so do it like that, and then you keep it like, oh, you can continue the story if you want to, because...
Well, with the title.
Yeah, well, yeah, like with Lights Out or something like that, but you can do like maybe one or two prequels before, but you get glimpses of how before she meets the family or everything like that. Before, like, go back to where she was with the first husband, or even go back when Teresa Palmer's character was a kid, and how she terrorized her too, and how she got out of there. Because did they talk about that at the beginning of the movie, like how she got out?
She basically, like, that's the reason for why she's so distant with the boyfriend, is because she's had this I don't want to invite anybody in thing. Because at first I was like, yo, my boy Brett, he's trying to mac on Teresa Palmer, and I don't blame him. Like, she was looking her best in this movie. I hate to like, yo, I can say it now.
Yeah, she could say it.
But she was looking her best. Like, I was like, yo, I'm trying to turn off the lights. But anyway, getting sidetracked, like... And the reason for why she didn't let anybody in is because of her. Like, it was assumed, why is she doing this? Oh, she's just being, like, a real bitch. It's just like, nah. And then maybe it's like, oh, maybe she has, like, security issues. Maybe it's because of her backstory. She doesn't want to introduce him to this. And it was like, that was it. And it makes sense. Like, midway through, you're like, oh, I get why she acts that way now. And... you were mentioning the boyfriend's actually like, he's 8 months. You missed it. Like, this has been going on for 8 months, and he's like still trying. I'm like, yo,
he's loyal.
Trooper for Teresa Palmer. I'd be loyal too.
Yay.
But any favorite scenes?
I would have to say the first one. And I came to the movie like I came late, a little bit late to see the film, but when I was seeing Diana carving the name, like her name and the little pictures that she had, I'm like, while Teresa Palmer was sleeping, and she's waking up and she's singing. I'm like that's really good and ominous right there. And then it's like you have like this flashing red light in the background, and it's like on off on off on off until Diana like notices her, and then she gets up and like it's like that's really fucked up and creepy. It was really like extra. I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be a good horror movie.
Yeah.
Also, what was that? I did like the one scene where they did it with the cop, like when he popped up again, and you seen his faces like it was like the mannequins that were in the basement, all scratched up and everything else like that. I was like, damn. That's my favorite two scenes right there.
All right. All right. For my favorite scene, any scene from with Teresa Palmer from behind, and a close up of her face. But beside that, I really love the ending. That's why I said we can't even talk about it unless there's like spoilers, because I thought like I literally the entire time I was like, man, this can turn into a franchise. I can do that, and then that ending, like the self-sacrifice, stuck out where it's like maybe it should be its standalone thing. It just proved that it doesn't need to be a franchise. It can, but if it's a standalone, it's fine. It was done really well. It's good to see another enjoyable horror movie because they're everything is about being possessed now. It's about this. Like, I'm a fan of 80s slashers, me personally, and this went back to those roots. And it also had its twist of modern day, and because of that, it was definitely above average. I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 4 stars.
Yeah, I'm giving this a 3.5 out of 4. I enjoy like the movies that like I enjoy the found footage movies. I enjoy some of them. I enjoy the movies like The Ring and The Grudge, and this is what really gave me that right there because later on tonight I was gonna go try to find the Ring versus The Grudge movie online, the Japanese version, and try to see that. But it's like this movie gave me like that creepy girl that is ready to kill everyone vibe, and I enjoy those movies like that.
Yeah.
And go see it.
All right. So the overall score for the Guys Night Crew is actually a 3.25. So I just round off. We'll just keep it at that, out of 4 stars. Because you know what? Honestly, I'm not going to round down. I think it should stay like that. You know what? I'm feeling generous. Let's just bump it up to a 3.5. Fuck it. Just, you know what? I really enjoyed this. It was good to see a nice, wholesome horror, nice horror film. But that can well, it is wholesome. It's wholesome in a way. Its message is.
Yeah, that's true.
It's about what you would do for your kids, and I'm like, yeah. But that concludes this podcast. Subscribe to us on our YouTube page, Facebook page. We are now on Snapchat, Podomatic, and iTunes as well. Remember, we do for the sake of the podcast. Until next time, we're out.